Morning. Hope everybody's doing well. What you guys got for me today?
What do you say to Kai to kind of work him through this extra point slump he's in or whatever?
Well, considering he does a pretty good job on field goals, we just it's a 33-yard field goal. We're trying that. It's trying to get his head a little bit. It's crazy. It really is. First miss against New Orleans, we pushed it, and this one he yanked it. So those are unacceptable. He knows that. The football team needs every single point we can get. So hopefully he'll get himself straightened out this week, and we'll go from there.
Is it a matter of just overcorrecting? I mean, when you talk about one time right, one time left?
I think so, because he had a great week of practice last week. He hit the ball well yesterday. Hit a bunch of field goals. We're going to hit more today. We work on that, that PAT, that 33-yard field goal, more than any other spot on the field. And typically makes every one of them. I would think since training camp started, he may have missed one in practice. So we got to have that same mentality in the ball game as well. I don't think it's a lack of focus. I mean, he knows how important it is, but at the end of the day, he knows he's got to make those kicks for us.
Technically, anything wrong there? I mean, did he just not follow through?
On the one he pulled the other day, it was technically not exactly how he wanted. But I mean, pre-game was great. The 42-yarder he drilled. The first game, the 3 field goals he hit were all technically outstanding. It's just one of those things you got to do it over and over and over and over again. And every time he goes out there, it involves points. I tell that to the field goal protection team. I tell that to the snapper, the holder, and the kicker. So he knows he's got to make those.
Mike, do you worry at all that you might be going down the same road as what happened with Blair, or is with him making all the field goals, it give you a
Well, I
feeling?
think and he's different personality. I think every kicker's got a different personality. I don't want to compare him to Blair or anybody else. I think he's a mentally strong kid. Kai, I think he'll be just fine. He's kicking off well for us. He's doing the things we're asking him to do, and we're doing a good job of pinning people deep for the most part. I just hope that he can straighten himself out and have a great week for us.
With Jarek, whose decision is it when he's going to take something out from 8-9 yards deep and when he doesn't?
Well, I'll be honest. We're as you know, we're aggressive, and we needed a spark. Our football team, we felt needed a spark, and so normally we had him about 5 deep early in the game, and we backed him up to 7, and he didn't realize he was back at 9. He just saw that he drifted back a couple feet or a couple yards and took it out. So that one was probably. The decision probably should have been made to keep it, take a knee. The other one he went to his right a little bit and caught it right at about 7. It was a line drive kick too. We just didn't block it very well, to be honest with you. So overall, that's that decision that it's my coaching. It's got to be on me. The head coach has allowed us to be aggressive, and I don't want us to make those mistakes or get to a point where the coach looks at me and says, "Hey, just take a knee when we're in the end zone," because I think we've been too good a kickoff return unit since I've been here. We've had good returners, we've had good blocking. At the end of the day, we've got to execute better, even when we catch it 7 or 8 deep. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. So do you anticipate dialing that back a little bit, or?
I think again, it always depends on the situation. And if it's a tight game and we need field position, then we'll take a knee if that one's at 7 or 8 deep. But if it's a line drive kick and he backs up a yard or two and it's a 3-5 hang time kick and we think we can get our timing right, that's the big thing. The timing is the key, and Jarek, because of his inexperience, doesn't understand as much of the timing, and that's my job to make sure he does understand that. In terms of when it's really high and deep, the timing of the whole return is different because they're another 5 yards closer. Where if it's a 3-5 hang time, 6 or 7 deep, we can still get the timing we want, based off of our wedge and where our blockers are, based off where their coverage people are. So it's not that complicated, but at the end of the day, we've got to make decisions that are going to help our football team, and that starts with me.
And when you're judging the hang time, is that Jarek sort of with an internal clock trying to figure that out?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, probably. And with experience he'll be better at that. That's a good question. At the end of the day, he will be better at that because of his reps. He doesn't have a lot of reps, to be honest with you. And I'm not making excuses for him or for me or for anybody else. We've got to make better decisions in certain parts of the game. But we're going to still be aggressive, and we're going to make some big plays on kickoff return. And I think if you just take a knee every time it goes 3 or 4 deep, then you're not going to have a chance to make a big play.
Like the covering of the center on the place kick. So what exactly is the rule, and what they get you for?
Yeah, I thought we were okay. It was tough. It was a tough deal. His arm may have been covering part of the leg. That's a big emphasis now for the officials. So it's my job to make sure that we. But I always say, and you've heard me say this before, Mark, we're not going to give the official an excuse to throw a flag, and we probably gave him an excuse to throw a flag there by just being maybe that close, that much closer than we were on the rep before. I thought it was a tough call, but they called it, and there's a reason why they called it, and we're going to make sure that doesn't get called again.
Is that what they typically let that go?
Well, in years past, he would have been fine, and it's been a big emphasis this year, and we knew that going in. And Tom, God bless him, he knew it going in. He wasn't trying to get a penalty, and I think our field goal block team got a bunch of conscientious guys on there and a bunch of defensive starters, and they know how important that play is, and we've made an impact over the years, and so we just got to make sure we're lined up correctly and still bring as much pressure as we possibly can.
What do you look for in a gunner?
I think that you're going to have different guys. You got Marcus out there and you got Jaron out there.
That's why I meant
Marcus last year and you got Cordero Patterson out there. So, a guy like Jaron is a bigger, stronger, more explosive guy off the line that's maybe easier to block if his technique's not right. Whereas Marcus, he's going to use speed and power. Whereas Marcus is going to use his quickness. He's going to use some counter type moves. He's going to use his speed and athleticism. But at the end of the day, they both have to be productive, and no matter what type of gunner you have, they have to be productive for us.
So how do you decide, like, when you're looking at the overall roster, that guy's going to be a good gunner or has a possibility to
Well,
be?
as you know, we've used different body types back there. Everson Griffin was a gunner. When I first got here, we made him a gunner, and he was a really good one, and because he wasn't playing as much on defense. So, and then we've had, Cordero, we've had Jamarcus Sanford, we've had, Marcus has been a gunner for us since I've been here, and he's gotten better every year. And the thing with Marcus too is his savvy. He understands, he studies a lot of tape and how they attack, how in a vice, how they attack in single press, and how he's going to beat guys, whether he loses ground or uses a counter technique or is just a speed release. And we work on technique a lot with our gunners, and you've got different ways of beating guys based on who the opponent is, and also what type of athlete that we're using out there. So where are you going to use anybody? Jarek McKinnon's been out there as a backup. We could play Jarek as the personal protector, we can play Jarek at a wing on punt team, and we can play a gunner because that's the type of athlete he is.
Mike, the fake field goal or fake punt, is that just a good play by the linebacker, reading it and staying with the tight end? Or?
I thought, I was kind of in coach's ear about running it in the first half to provide a spark for our football team, and it's a good fake, and it's I like the scheme. They played it well. I would tip my hat to them. They played it well. The guy, did a hold-up technique, and we practiced against that. And in practice, I was here. We're getting away a little bit better, a little bit more effectively. But he did a good job of holding us up. And there is no pass interference on a fake punt like that from a punt formation. And they're never going to call that. So it was a good play by them. We just need to execute it better.
I'm going to stay in that situation. I don't know if the linebacker knew that, but he could just basically tackle him or
he
well, not tackle,
hold.
but but they can really just act like they're blocking him.
Yeah, you can chuck him or block him. Yeah, he was allowed to block him. As long as it's a legal block, he's okay. And we felt that going in there we could catch him by surprise, and I think initially we caught him by surprise, but they reacted really well and they played it well.
Do you think he got held?
Well, no, I don't think
really?
so. I think it was legal. I'm not gonna. I think they played it well. We didn't execute it. Like I said, my hat's off to them.